Have you ever stopped to think about how amazing the 90s really were? An era where every moment felt special, every discovery was magical, and every candy had the power to transport us to a place where happiness was found in the simplest things. That sweet taste at the end of the afternoon, the sound of a package being opened, the sparkle in a child's eyes as they tried something new. It was all part of a time we deeply miss. Because deep down, the 90s weren't just about products. They were about the memories, the laughter, the friends, the dreams, and of course, the candies that shaped our lives. Get ready for a time-traveling journey where flavor is the gateway to the sweetest memories of all. Are you ready to relive the magic?
I'm ready.
In the 90s, childhood had something magical about it, and one of the candies that defined that era was Fruit Gushers. Who doesn't remember that shiny packet, promising an explosion of flavor when opened? The colorful pieces with that sweet, vibrant filling bursting in your mouth. Each bite was a surprise, an explosion of flavor and fun. It was more than just a candy, it was a moment of pure joy. Who doesn't remember running around the playground, sharing with friends, and trying to guess which flavor would come next? Gushers weren't just a treat, they were a time capsule, taking us back to childhood and the best moments of that time. If you lived it, you know it's impossible to forget. In the 90s, there was something magical about the little things, like opening a pack of Dunkaroos. Who doesn't remember those crunchy cookies ready to be dipped into that sweet, creamy frosting? It was more than just a snack. It was fun in every bite. The vanilla or strawberry frosting melted in your mouth, while the crunchy cookie made the perfect combination. Each pack was a little party, turning snack time into a moment of pure joy. Dunkaroos weren't just a snack, they were an experience. Sharing with friends, seeing who could eat the fastest or make the most combinations. Those moments take us back to childhood, to a time when fun was found in the simplest things. Who didn't want to be the center of attention in the 90s? And what better way than with a candy that was not just delicious, but also a real accessory? The ring pop made that possible. These colorful candy rings were like edible jewelry, shining in the hands of whoever wore them. With just one simple gesture, you could be the king or queen of the school, showing off your fruit ring while enjoying every sweet bite. The most fun part was the competition to see who had the biggest, most delicious, or brightest ring pop. It wasn't just a candy, it was a status symbol at recess. And the joy came not only from eating, but from sharing the moment with friends. Who remembers trying a Sour Patch Kid for the first time? The sour candy that at first bite made you pucker your face, but then transformed into a sweet explosion. It was the ultimate flavor roller coaster, and every bite was a new adventure. These little kids of gummy candy were much more than just a sweet treat. They had personality. They started with that sour kick, strong enough to make you react, but then came the sweetness that made you crave more. It was a surprise with every piece. The best part was seeing how everyone reacted. Some dared to eat faster, others tried to guess which color had the most intense flavor. And during recess, if you had a pack of Sour Patch Kids, you knew all eyes were on you. It was the candy that brought friends together, sparked conversations and laughter, and made the day so much more fun. Sour Patch Kids were without a doubt more than just a candy. They were an experience. And every time you popped one in your mouth, it felt like reliving that simple joy of being a kid, with a smile from knowing you had found the perfect candy. Hey, are you enjoying this trip down memory lane? Then what are you waiting for? If you haven't subscribed yet, now's your chance. Remember, the 90s nostalgia doesn't stop here. Subscribe now and don't miss out on any of this amazing journey of memories and fun. Because if you grew up in the 90s, you know these memories shouldn't be forgotten. They deserve to be celebrated. And for that, you need to be part of everything we're bringing. Let's relive everything that made that decade unforgettable. Hit that subscribe button and join this journey. In the 90s, one of the biggest candy hits on the shelves was Skittles, with that iconic slogan everyone remembers, "Taste the Rainbow." But who could have guessed that with just one bite, you'd be transported to a world of such intense and different flavors? Each color represented a unique experience, the sweet and sour flavor, an explosion that started it with a simple piece of candy. It was like each pack was an invitation to travel through a rainbow of sensations. The best part of Skittles was sharing. During recess, it was common to swap flavors with friends, trying to guess which color hid the sweetest or the sourest flavor. It was more than just candy, it was an experience everyone wanted to share. In the 90s, one candy that totally won over everyone was Trolley gummy worms. Who didn't fall in love with those colorful sugar-coated worms seemingly coming straight from a fantasy world? With their chewy texture and a mix of sweet and sour flavors, Trolley gummy worms were the perfect treat for those who love to experiment with new tastes. And the best part? They seemed to come to life when you stretched them, but the most fun part was the joy they brought. Among friends, there was always a competition to see who could eat more or who could make the longest gummy worm. Every pack of Trolley was a little adventure, with the joy of sharing each sweet bite with others. If you grew up in the 90s, you know exactly what it meant to have a roll of bubble tape in your hands. It was more than just gum, it was a revolution. Instead of a tiny piece of regular gum, you had a whole roll of flavor and fun ready to be unrolled like it was tape. With its giant size and unique packaging, bubble tape wasn't just a taste experience, it was a symbol of fun. When you pulled that piece and started chewing, the sweet flavor spread across your mouth, and with every piece, the feeling of doing something forbidden, like a secret just for you and your friends, grew even stronger. And the best part? The competition to see who could blow the biggest bubbles. It was almost an art form, and if you popped a giant bubble, the feeling of victory was indescribable. At recess, if you had a roll of bubble tape, you knew you'd have company and that laughter was guaranteed. But what really made bubble tape unforgettable wasn't just the taste or the fun. It was the feeling of freedom, of being a kid and enjoying every moment. Every piece of gum was a little celebration of friendship, laughter, and pure fun. In the 90s, candy cigarettes were one of the most fun and curious candies around. With their shape that resembled a real cigarette, but with a refreshing mint flavor, these treats were a huge hit with kids. It was like we were playing grown-up, with no risks involved, just laughs and fun. When we opened that little pack, the world seemed more interesting, like it was a secret shared among friends. It was common to see kids competing to see who could smoke the fastest or take the biggest puff of the candy. It didn't matter that it wasn't real. The important thing was the fun, the connection with friends, and of course, the delicious taste that lingered. The candy cigarettes were part of a time when even toys and candies had a touch of irreverence. And that's why, even today, when we think of them, we're instantly transported back to those sweet moments of childhood when every new thing felt like a great adventure and every candy pure fun. In the 90s, if you were hungry and had a pack of fruit by the foot, you knew recess was about to become a real adventure. This candy was more than just a treat. It was an experience, a fruit roll-up that seemed endless, with that sweet, intense flavor that satisfied even the pickiest eaters. And who doesn't remember trying to stretch it as long as possible, turning each piece into a who can unroll the longest game? The colorful packaging was a promise of a delicious adventure. When you opened it, not only did the fruity taste flood your mouth, but it felt like you were trying something completely new. And it wasn't just about eating it, it was about sharing. Everyone at school wanted to see who had the longest fruit by the foot, who could chew it the fastest, or who could make the coolest shapes with the candy strip. If you were a kid in the 90s, you know a pack of fruit by the foot meant instant fun. It wasn't just a candy, it was a way to play and create unforgettable moments with friends. Ah, the 90s, full of flavors that turned into memories that still make us smile today. In the 90s, if you were thirsty and wanted a taste of nostalgia, there was no better drink than a cold Yoo-hoo. That creamy chocolate drink with a unique flavor everyone loved was part of the best childhood moments. It didn't matter if it was at school, a friend's house, or a lazy afternoon at home. Yoo-hoo was always there, bringing that sweet and refreshing taste. Remember the packaging? That iconic 200ml carton that was in every lunchbox, ready to be the center of attention during recess. With every sip, it felt like you were transported to a place where happiness was found in the simplest things. And that combination of chocolate flavor with the creaminess of milk, pure magic. Yoo-hoo wasn't just a drink, it was an experience. And if you grew up in the 90s, you know that after a sip of Yoo-hoo, the rest of the day felt sweeter and brighter. Even today, when you think of that drink's taste, Memories of childhood rush back, and who wouldn't want to relive that moment? In the 90s, the push pop wasn't just a lollipop, it was a childhood accessory. With its unique tube design, it became a true source of fun during snack time. Instead of simply licking a lollipop, you'd push the base to make the candy rise, like a candy master. Remember the feeling of opening a push pop and watching the candy become more and more visible bit by bit? It was like a little adventure with every push. And the flavor? Oh, the flavor. Strawberry, grape, orange. Each one was a burst of freshness that made you want more. What made the push pop even better was that it wasn't just about the candy. It was the fun of showing it off to friends, seeing who could push it up the fastest or who finished it first. It was, without a doubt, the candy of the schoolyard, the one everyone wanted. And the best part, it seemed to last forever. You could enjoy it slowly, layer by layer, without any rush. If you grew up in the 90s, you probably remember holding a push pop, enjoying every little push and the sweet taste of an unforgettable childhood. Who wouldn't want to relive that moment? Ah, Pez dispensers. Who doesn't remember holding one of those little toys in your hand with your favorite characters while enjoying the colorful candies that came out of the dispenser? In the 90s, these magical candy boxes became so much more than just a snack. They were almost a collection. Each new dispenser brought a different character, and the fun was in loading the candy and popping one out at a time with that signature click sound. From Star Wars to Looney Tunes, Pez dispensers were the perfect combination of toy and candy. It didn't matter where you were. If you had your Pez, you were ready for a mini adventure. And the best part, swapping candies with friends or showing off which dispenser you had, that was the rarest. Pez dispensers were more than just a candy. They became a symbol of fun and friendship in the 90s. And for sure, they were part of the best childhood moments. And even today, when we see one, we're reminded of the times when fun was as simple as pressing that button and watching the candy pop out. So, how amazing was reliving the best memories of the 90s? But this is just the beginning. If you love this trip down memory lane, hit that like button, share with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more incredible nostalgia. With every video, we'll bring more memories, more fun, and of course, even more of the candies that defined our lives. So if you want to keep living that magic, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And remember, the 90s are forever, and you're a part of it.